How to manage a high conflict divorce. What is a high conflict divorce? It's exactly what it sounds like. Two people that are just fighting for the sake of fighting. Oftentimes this is because there's a lack of communication. That leads to a lack of cooperation. And then that leads to basically the two of them fighting just for the sake of fighting. That type of behavior can be very stressful and can also be very expensive. How do we fix the high conflict divorce or help you navigate the high conflict divorce? Here at the Eggleston Law Firm, what we do is, first of all, we try to really identify what's going on. Oftentimes in a high conflict divorce, you'll see things such as family violence, drugs or alcohol addictions, or mental health issues. If those issues are identified, we want to make sure first that we get our client the help that they need. Second, we want to try to address whatever those issues are inside the litigation as well if it's the other spouse. Once we've identified kind of the reason for the high conflict divorce, we try to address it. We try to first help our client get the help that they need, whether it's friends or family or getting help from a professional such as a therapist or a counselor to help work through that process. We want to do whatever is necessary to make sure that our client is successful throughout this divorce process. If the issue stems from the other party, oftentimes that means we need to address that in litigation. And we do that on a case-by-case basis. Oftentimes that can be done in a temporary orders hearing to determine what needs to be done in order to try to solve or fix that problem. Hopefully bring it back down from being a high conflict divorce and try to ease the stress as well as the expenses related to that. The other thing here at the Eggleston Law Firm that we try to do in a high conflict divorce is that we try to understand and support the client. We're here to explain what's going on, help the client better understand what's going on, and then help the client understand the strategy of how we're going to accomplish getting through this divorce. High conflict divorce isn't always just related to a child custody case. Oftentimes we see high conflict divorces where there are no children. It's only property. And the reason the only property divorces can become high conflict is because of emotion. That emotion can cause the parties to fight and engage in activities or behaviors that simply do nothing but drive up the stress and the expense related to dividing the marital estate. Some other tools that we use here at the Eggleston Law Firm to help navigate high conflict divorces include collaborative law as well as mediation. Both are designed to reach an amicable settlement without the necessary and expensive costs of litigation and the stress and the unknown of a final trial. In both mediation and collaborative law, the parties work together to reach a settlement. They mutually agree upon this settlement in order to avoid going to a final trial. If we can go to mediation and we can remove the emotions, we can be successful in reaching a settlement for our clients. If you're going through the divorce process and you think your divorce is or can be a high conflict divorce, the number one thing that you can do is hire the right attorney. If you don't hire the right attorney, you're going to be in trouble. The reason for it is because that attorney is not going to be able to help you navigate all the ins and outs. And more often than not, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to be reactive. The other side is going to constantly be driving the litigation process, doing things to push your buttons, to drive up the cost of litigation, and more importantly, try to inflict pain on you. Without the right attorney, you're just going to be there trying to absorb all of that. Take the time, hire the right attorney, make sure you have someone that's experienced, knows and understands how the litigation process goes, but more importantly, can not only navigate the litigation process, but also give you an opportunity to try to resolve your case without having to go to a final trial. At the end of the day, if you've got the right attorney, you can be successful in a high conflict divorce.